Hello students, the class is for 3rd BSc 6th Sem Zoology, paper Environmental Biology. In the last class we have studied Unit 1, that is Ecology, definition of ecology, subdivisions and scope. Today we'll deal with environment. So each and every living organisms has its specific surrounding medium of environment to which it continuously interacts and remains fully adapted. So, the definition for this environment is the sum total of physical and biotic components or conditions influencing the responses of the organism is known as environment. This environment has two basic factors or components, that is biotic factors or components and abiotic factors or components. The example for this biotic factors are all living organisms like plants, animals and microorganisms, and biotic factors or components includes water, soil, light, minerals, gases, temperature, wind, nutrients, etc. In this picture you can observe the biotic and abiotic components. The environment is divided into four components mainly. They are atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and biosphere. Atmosphere means atmo means air, sphere means zone or area. Hydrosphere means hydro means water, sphere means a zone or area. Lithosphere means litho means soil, sphere means zone or area. Biosphere is a supporting environment on earth, that is bio means living, sphere means zone or area. The life supporting environment of planet earth is known as biosphere. The area where the organisms survive is known as biosphere. The biosphere is composed of three media, those are air, water, and soil, which are the components of the three major subdivisions of the biosphere, that is, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere, respectively. In this picture, you can observe the biosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere. Here is another picture so that you can observe the spheres, that is biosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere. So this is the biosphere. Firstly, we are going to study about the one first component of the environment, that is atmosphere. Here you can see the geosphere also, atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere and geosphere also. Atmosphere. Atmosphere means atmo means air, sphere means zone or area. The multi-layered gaseous envelope surrounding the planet Earth is called atmosphere. The Earth is covered by what? Atmosphere. ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊದಿಕೆಯ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ? ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಆವರಿಸಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, atmosphere is a gaseous multilayered envelope surrounding the planet Earth. The atmosphere remains in contact with all major types of environment of Earth, interacting with them and greatly affecting their ability to support life. It filters sunlight reaching the earth, affect climate and is a reservoir of several elements essential for life. So this atmosphere is of different layered, different zones. Various zones are found in this atmosphere. Coming to the composition of atmosphere, it is a mixture of various gases, water vapor, and subatomic particles that entirely covers the earth, extending outward several thousand kilometers. The composition of earth includes nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, miscellaneous compounds like traces of hydrogen, ozone, radon, helium, neon, krypton, xenon, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, methane, etc. Beside these gases, air may carry suspensions of liquids such as water in clouds and solids such as dust from the ground, that is soil, smoke from fire, or salt from ocean spray. Air also contains microorganisms like viruses, bacteria, etc. It also contains pollen grains and fungal spores, also forming biological constituents of the atmosphere. As we defined that atmosphere is a multi-layered gaseous envelope, it consists of various zones. The various zones of atmosphere are, it is divided into five distinct layers or zones, that is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, and exosphere. Firstly, from the downward, that is troposphere. Troposphere, it is the lowest region of atmosphere which is subjected to differential heating, temperature, inversions and convections currents, and which extends from the surface of the earth up to the height of 8 to 10 kilometers. For the organisms, troposphere forms a most important zone of atmosphere. Many important climatic events such as cloud formation, lightning, thundering, thunderstorm formation, etc. all takes place in troposphere. Upper region of the troposphere has a narrow bordering called the trophophase, which has a constant temperature. The tropophase separates the stratosphere from the troposphere. After the troposphere, you have stratosphere. Stratosphere next to the troposphere is the second zone called stratosphere, which is about 30 kilometers in the height from the earth. This zone is free from clouds and aeroplanes usually fly in its lower zone. The temperature of the stratosphere increases up to 90 degrees Celsius, and such an increase in temperature is due to the ozone formation under the influence of ultraviolet component of sunlight. Upper layer of stratosphere form stratophase. This stratophase separates mesosphere from stratosphere. Next one is mesosphere. Stratosphere is followed by next zone called mesosphere, which is 40 kilometers in height. In mesosphere, temperature shows again a decrease up to minus 80 degrees Celsius. Upper layer of this zone forms the mesophase, and it is next with ionosphere. In this diagram also you can observe the various zones of atmosphere, and the fourth one is ionosphere. The remaining part of the atmosphere above the mesosphere up to the height of about 300 kilometers above the Earth surface called ionosphere. It contains several layers of ionized air, thus, most of the gaseous components which become ionized under the influence of radiant energy remain as ions. And finally, the exosphere is the outer fringe of Earth's atmosphere, and outer space begins after it. The air density is very low in this zone. Hydrogen begin dominant being dominant element in it. So the air is a mixture of the gaseous mixture of troposphere is utilized by most organisms in respiration to liberate energy from food during oxidation and is called air. The atmosphere, about 90% of the total air is present up to the height of about 20 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Nitrogen and oxygen are the major component of the Earth. Coming to the next component of environment, that is hydrosphere. Hydro means water, sphere means zone or area. About 3 by 4th of the earth's surface is covered with hydrosphere, that is water. About 70% of the earth is covered by water. Water is available in seas, oceans, lakes, rivers and glaciers, etc. The oceans, rivers, stream, lakes, ponds, polar ice caps, water vapor, etc. all forms hydrosphere. In this, we can find that the main component or medium of this hydrosphere is water. Water is one of the most Water is one of the most unusual natural compounds which is only found on the earth and which is very most precious and important. The water remains in solid form in snows, liquid form as water and gaseous form in water vapor. Water is one of the main agent in pediogenesis, that is soil formation, and is the medium for several different ecosystem. Water in its two forms, that is aquatic water, that is marine water, and fresh water, that is salt water and fresh water. It forms two chief aquatic environments, namely marine environment and freshwater environment of earth. Some of the physical properties of water are: water has high heat capacity, it has latent heat of melting and evaporation, water is a poor thermal conductor compared to metals, expansion before freezing, it is a universal solvent, water has the greatest surface tension, water is a viscous liquid, it is a beyond medium and it is a transparent medium. The chemical composition of this water is a transparent fluid which forms the world's streams, lakes, oceans and rain. Water is a chemical substance with chemical formula H2O. One molecule of water has two hydrogen atoms covalently bonded to a single oxygen atom. Water appears in nature in all three common states of matter, that is, solid, liquid, and gas. The next component of environment is lithosphere. Litho means soil, sphere means zone or area. Solid component of earth is called lithosphere, which is multi-layered, including following main layers, that is crust, mantle and outer and inner core. First one, the core. The core is the central fluid or Vaporized sphere form the center and is composed of nickel iron. In this picture, you can observe the different zones or layers of the lithosphere: crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core. After crust, the next is mantle that extends above the core. This is in molten state. Then the crust, outermost solid zone of earth, is called crust. Above the mantle crust is very complex and its surface is covered with soil, which is supporting rich and varied biological communities for living organisms find in the soil, an environment providing food, shelter, and concealment from predators. Now, the main thing upon the crust, that is soil. The science which deals with the study of soil is called soil science or pedology. Soil can be defined as the weathered surface of the earth crust, which is mixed with organic material in which macro and microorganisms live and plant grow. Soil consists of the inorganic materials, organic materials derived from dead organisms, the air and water occupying the pores between the soil particles, which are loosely packed small organisms such as bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa, rotiferous, nematodes, oligochaetes, mollusca, and arthropods, and higher plants which live in it. Coming to the composition of this soil, the soil composition is a very important aspect of nutrient management. The basic components of soil are minerals, organic matters, water, and air. The typical soil consists of approximately 45% of mineral, 5% organic matter, 20 to 30% of water, and 20 to 30% air. These percentages are only generalizations at best. The composition of the soil can fluctu- fluctuate on a daily basis depending on numerous factors such as water supply, cultivation practice, or soil type, or it may also be altered depending upon the areas or biodiversity. The relative amounts of water and air in the soil are constantly changing as the soil wets or dries. This was all about today's class, and tomorrow we'll continue with ecological factors, that is, biotic and abiotic factors. Thank you all. If you have any doubts, you can call me back. Thank you.